Hello, 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 everybody. So, my name's E. This is E's Creations Paint Party, and welcome to How To Tuesday. Yes, so we're going to be painting glass. Anything to do with glass. So, I am a self-taught painter. I've been painting for almost 30 years now. Whoo, am I old? And I'm going to show you everything I know. All my little tricks, all my little tips. Say hello if you're practicing with me tonight. So it's not an actual painting. This is a complete practice session. And we're going to practice as a fam. We're going to learn a lot of things. We're going to have a lot of laughs. So say hello, hello, hello if you're practicing with me tonight. Hi, Pasha. How you doing? So, howdy, Nancy. How you been, hon? Hello, sweetheart. So, say hello, hello, hello. You know I like doing roll call. Of course, I'm going to write everybody's name down. I look young, Michelle. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you. As a matter of fact, I'm late coming on because I got myself all pretty for you guys, and I got mascara in both eyeballs. So my eyes are on fire right now. And I'm sniffling and my eyes are dripping. Hi, Gina, Saskatchewan. Oh, boy. Hello, 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 Michelle. So, yeah. So, me trying to look young, I wound up messing myself all up. So, my apologies. Thank you so much. I'm a little bit late tonight, but we are here and we're going to hang out. We're going to have a good time. Hi, Joy. How you doing, sweetie? Thank you so much for last Friday. You were so patient with me. I appreciate that. That was a crazy day. Crazy. So let's say hi to the Mr. Butters, because, you know, he might chime in, so we have to give him props. There he is, lounging in his condo. So he's being a good boy right now. And we'll see how that goes along, how that happens. All right. So tonight I have some handy-dandy tools, right? So I have my computer set up for our Google images, right? I told you guys about using that as a reference. And I also have my table all set up. So the table is all set up. I have a menagerie of weapons going on here. I've got all sorts of brushes, all sizes, shapes. I have the paint party brushes here. We got big boy, we got tiny, we got mini me. All right, so if you're painting in acrylic paint, you want to keep your brushes in your water. And when you clean them, you swirl, you tap, you dab on a paper towel. You want to dab in the shape of your bristles. You'll be all set. I've got a couple different palettes going on here. I got some palette knives. Looky, I got a new palette knife. Check this bad boy out. Look at that, right? Brand spanking new. That's a different shape, right? So I don't know if we're going to use it tonight, but I'm excited. I'm always excited about having new artist tools. So I'm going to pour my paint. Say hello if you're practicing with me tonight, and we'll get started. And if, you know, remember, guys, this is your practice session. So if you have any questions or concerns or anything about painting, 6,000% ask me. And let's try to stay on topic with glass. But like I said, if you ever have any questions, feel free to ask me. This is your session. So I am doing this for you to show you any little tricks and tips. I am by no means an expert at painting glass. I'm going to tell you that right now. But I'm going to show you what I know. So that's how it's going to go. All right. And I'm going to put you in your handy dandy holder. So it's earthquake time. Earthquake. There we go. So you can see the canvas. All right. The almighty blank canvas. Oh, so scary. So scary. But that's okay, because we're going to tackle it with our almighty brushes. We're going to use our almighty brushes and tackle our almighty blank canvas. That's what we're going to do. So I'm going to do a background color. Anybody want to see any background color in particular? Doesn't really matter to me. And I got to pour my paint. Same paint every single party. Black, white, red, blue, yellow. So let me pour some paint. We need some paint to paint, right? You need paint to paint, Eve. You need paint to paint. That's how it usually works. That's how it works, right? We need paint to paint. So I'm thinking of doing, I want to do a cappuccino cup. I probably should have done one before Friday's painting. So there we are. We have blue, we have black, we have white, yellow, and red. So if you're practicing with me, get out all of your fun little weapons and your tools and everything you're going to use. And I'm really fancy now, guys. Check it out. I got a smock. Look at this. Who wants to take bets that I still get paint on my clothes? Who wants to bet? Because you know it's going to happen. But I'm getting fancy. We have a smock. Hi, Magna. Hi, sweetheart. So, I got to meet Magna last week. She's been painting with me for over a year. And we got to finally meet each other. And she's just as sweet in person as she is on here. So, I am ready. I have my paint. And I got my fancy dancy smock on. Let's see how this goes. I'm going to mess this thing up. Oh, yeah. Good times. All right. So, what color background do we want to do? I don't know. I'm going to grab my 1-inch flat brush. And let's just do a light blue. Okay. So, I'm just going to grab some blue and white. Okay, Magna. Aw, Coco has to rest. Yes, we'll have to say prayers for Coco. So I'm just going to grab some blue and some white. Right? Throw it on my brush, and I'm just going to throw a background on here real quick. That's all. So blue and white paint. Blue and white paint. So there's a couple different tricks to painting glass. I wonder if Cheryl's going to be on tonight, because she's the one that asked me to do glass. But I'm sure she'll catch the replay if she can't make it tonight. So, ask away, Magna. Ask away. So, I am just grabbing some blue and white paint. And we're making just a very simple background over here on this side. Just on this side. Okay, so we're just going to drop that in real quick. Let's do that on this side of the canvas, right? Because we're practicing. So, we're not doing an actual painting. We're just practicing how to paint glass. So, when you paint glass, obviously it is see-through. It is see-through. So the first glass I'm going to do is a Cappuccino Cup. Kind of like Mr. Bunny was holding. Yes. Hi, Kelly. How you doing, sweetheart? Yes, so the 3 white brushes you got in your paint kit, you want to smash them up, Magna. They're the fluffies. They're the fluffies. These guys. So mash them to bits. Mash them, smash them, bust them all apart. You're going to lose some bristles, and that's okay. And those are your fluffies. Awesome, Kelly. Glad to hear it, hon. I'm glad to hear it. Glad to hear you're doing good. My nose is running still from getting my eyes are tearing and my nose is running from getting the makeup in my face. I got it right in the eyeballs. All right, so basically just some blue and white. And what I'm going to do is, one thing you want to remember is when you're painting glass, it's see-through, right? It's translucent. So less is more. Less is more. And sometimes I have a tendency of painting too much, but that's okay. That's all right, because, I'll show you how to fix it. But you do want to remember that less is more. And a lot of people beforehand, draw their shape of their glass on with either chalk or maybe a very light pencil. Hi, Cheryl, you are here. I was wondering if you're going to be here because you're the one that asked me to do glass. Cheryl's in the house. Hi, Cheryl. So, I'm going to start off with some white paint. Okay, I'm just going to start off with some white paint. And I'm going to put a little bit of blue in it. So, I'm going to have it be a different color than my background. But something pretty close. Pretty close. Okay, so a little lighter than my background, but pretty close to my background. All right. So I'm just mixing some blue and white, and I'm making it a little lighter than my background. All right, and we're going to do a Cappuccino Cup like Mr. Bunny had last Friday. So if you guys remember the painting from last Friday, he had a cappuccino glass, okay? So, I'm going to turn around, and I'm just using my 1-inch flat here. I'm just using my 1-inch flat, and I'm going to put the shape of the glass in. So that's going to just swoop down, swoop, and come around, right? And then on the other side, it's going to do, awesome, awesome, Cheryl, good to see you, right? So, and then I'm just going to swoop down, come around this way, okay? And I ran out of background color, so let's throw some more background color in there real quick, because I totally ran out. I ran out of background color. I didn't go down far enough. I did not go down far enough. Okay, so what you want to remember is like less is more when you're doing glass, right? Because it's see-through. So obviously if something's see-through, that means there's nothing there to paint. Okay, guys? So that's like the first thing you want to remember. There's nothing there to paint when it's see-through. So less is more. Less is definitely more. All right, so now that I have that swooped in, I'm going to do the bottom, right? So I'm just going to swoop this way and swoop this way. Alrighty, so I'm just following along this edge here, and then I'm bringing it in. Following along this edge here, and then bringing it in, okay? And you can do a wine glass the same way, guys. Those of you that are interested in doing a wine glass, it's basically the same thing. And then at the bottom, I'm going to go up from the top a little bit, like 1 finger worth, and I'm going to pull it out on the side, and then loop it around. Loop it around, okay? Just like that. Right? Easy peasy. Nothing hard there. Nothing hard, okay? And then on the top, I'm going to do another oval. I'm going to do another oval. So we're going to oval down this way. Alrighty, and then we're going to bring it across the top, kind of like an eyeball. Alright, so those of you who want to do a wine glass or a champagne glass, same concept, right? Champagne flute would be a little longer. Wine glass would be rounded all the way up on the sides. So you get like the same concept going on. So, but we're going to do a cappuccino mug, a hot cocoa mug, you know, because we're kid friendly here. It's all about the fam. It's all about the fam. So on the side, I'm going to do the handle. Now, when we painted the bunny, I didn't have much time to instruct the glass, so I really simplified it. So now I'm going to go a little more in depth on how to do this. Okay, and there is my handle. So once I have those in and I have my basic shape in, and if you noticed, I made it very close to my background color. Very close, because less is more. All right, I'm going to put this away, and I'm going to grab my smaller brush. I'm going to grab my smaller brush. So I'm grabbing Tiny. So Tiny is a #1 round. This is what we use for our paint parties all the time. That's right. So I'm going to grab my Tiny. And when you look at a glass, I'm going to show you the picture of it on the computer, okay? So I want to show you the picture of it on the computer. So when you're looking at a reference picture, you know what to look at. So I hope it shows up even with the light. All right, so can you guys see this? I hope so. All right, there we go. So when you look at glass, you're going to see spots that are shadowed, and you're going to see spots that are brighter. All right, that's what you need to look at. You need to look at where your shadows are and then where the bright spots are. All right, so that is #2. #1, less is more. #2, where are those darker pieces and those lighter pieces? That's what you want to look at. So, hi Christy, how you doing? California in the house. Ona is here. Hello Ona. Hi Christy. We got Christy from California. Oh yeah. yeah. Ona is here. Hi, Ona. Alright, so I'm going to turn around and I'm going to take my, what do I want to do? Alright, I'm going to take my blue paint, okay, my blue paint. I'm going to start with the darks. So I'm going to grab just blue paint and I'm going to smush it a little bit over here because I don't want that much paint on my brush, right? Because we have globs on our paintbrush. We're going to get globs on our painting. So the first thing I notice is that there's usually a shadow around the rim. Okay, so then you want to put a shadow around your rim. And another, okay, and the third thing, I hope you guys are remembering this. I'm going to test you. The third thing you want to remember is not everything is a complete line. So you're going to do like lines of dark and then lines of light. It's not like, I'm not going to fill this all the way in as a complete line because it's not dark all the way around the rim. It's only dark in a few spots. Okay, so I'm going to put some dark on this corner here and I'm going to put some dark on that corner there. Okay, and I'm going to grab some more paint and then I'm going to put some dark in this edge right here like that, and we're going to put some dark on this edge right here. Okay, right like that. And then, you know, you're going to skip, like I said, it's not all like one solid line. I'm going to bring this down and I'm going to put the dark on the inside edge there. So all I did so far is the shape of my glass, and now I'm putting in the dark spots of the glass. Okay? And then I always put a little dark on the back rim too. So, but if you notice, I'm not attaching any of this. I am like going just in a new spot. I'm putting the dark in. See, none of those lines are attached to anything. They're not attached, okay? So, in my stem, I'm going to have dark. One key thing, like every glass I noticed in this space right here is always like a triangle of dark. So, you want to go into your glass here and into your glass there, and you just connect that together, and then you come into your stem and it's like a little triangle of dark color. Okay, it's one thing I always notice with glass. It seems to have like where that stem connects always seems to have like a triangle of dark right there. All right, so we're going to put that in. And I'm still just grabbing blue paint, everybody. I'm grabbing the blue because we have a blue background. Right? If we had a red background, you'd be doing this with whites and pinks and stuff like that. Okay? And then I'm going to put a little dark on the inside part. Right here. Right here. And notice I'm bending that around. I'm bending that around because this is actually dark that's on the other side of the glass. Right? Glasses are three-dimensional. So if you notice, I'm bending that. I skipped a big space here. I didn't line it up with this one. I made a whole new area. And I'm just going to smash this in and soften it out. Because that, you like my softening technique? That was really good, right? You just smush it with your finger, people. That's my softening technique. You like that? But that's actually a shadow going on the other side of the glass. Okay? So, another spot that's going to have dark is obviously in your handle. So we're going to put some dark in the handle. Right? So we're going to put some dark right there. And then where the handle connects, it does like a little circular thing, and there's lots of dark in there because there's like a whole bunch of glass here. So we're going to put some dark in there too. And I'm going to round it. I'm going to round it because that's where like the handle is connecting into the glass. Okay, guys? So I am going to round that out. Okay? So just grabbing blue paint, and I'm going to come down into my stem, and I'm going to put some dark on the side of my stem here. So I'm just going to play around with darks and lights, and I'm going to show you different places to put them. You know, I'm not necessarily like I showed you that reference picture of the Cappuccino Cup, but I'm not, you know, like, I'm not necessarily looking at that for everything. I'm just, you could play. You could totally play with this. All right? You don't have to be very strict about how you do this, because as you play, and you play with your colors, and you do all this kind of stuff going on, all of a sudden you're going to be like, wow, that looks pretty cool. All right, so I'm going to come down over here now, and behind where the stem connects, I'm going to put a shadow there, right? And then where it connects over here, I'm going to put a shadow there. Notice I'm not connecting any lines, and then let's throw another one right here. All right, let's just throw another one right there. Okay? So, I'm going to swirl tap dab my brush because it's getting kind of thick and globby. It's getting thick and globby, and I'm going to grab my mini-me. Mini-me! I call him mini-me because he looks just like Big Boy, except he's smaller. He is a number 4 shader. They call mini-me, alright? So I'm going to come in here with mini-me, and I am just going to soften whatever is still kind of wet. I'm just going to soften it out. And I missed the boat because a lot of this is already dry. But that's okay. I'm alright with that. But I'm just going to soften around, and I could soften around in here. Notice I'm doing like rounded strokes. Okay, I'm doing rounded strokes. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn around, and I'm going to do the medium tones. Remember, so with the bunny, I turned around and I had you make a light gray, a medium gray, and a dark gray. So this is the same thing. So I did my dark blue. Now I'm going to make the light blue again. So I'm just grabbing blue and white. I am just grabbing blue and white. That's all I'm doing. Thanks, Kelly. All right, so now I have that was my dark. This is my medium tone, right? So you want to work like 3 tones. And I'm actually going to piggyback my darks. I'm going to piggyback my darks with my medium tone. So I'm going to come back in here where that was, and I'm going to put the medium tone with that, because this will soften your lines too. And I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to put my medium tone in with that corner, and I'm going to bring it down the side. So what this is doing is softening my shadow. It's softening my shadow. So I'm bringing it down the side on both sides of that shadow line. So you just want to soften your lines up a little bit. And with acrylic paint, it dries really fast. So this is the way that you can soften a lot of your lines. And if you soften too much, you know me, I always lose my dark, or I always lose my light because I'm painting too much. You can always just grab the dark blue paint and like smush that back in there. Alright, so if you went a little happy, and you lost it, that's okay. You can just put it right back in there again. Happens all the time. All the time. Alright, so this is my medium tone, and I'm coming around, and I'm going to soften around that side, and I'm going to bring this over, right, because I kind of lost the shape of my glass with my little triangle. So I'm going to put that back in, and I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to soften this up, and I'm just like zigzagging back and forth, and I'm just using a medium tone color. That's all I'm doing. And I'm kind of piggybacking all my dark spots and softening up where I put all those dark spots. I'm just softening it up. So wherever I put those dark spots, I'm piggybacking with the medium tone and filling that in. Okay, and I'm going on like the one side, I'm going on the other, I'm doing like a little ziggy zag. Okay, so you don't have to, you don't have to fill it all the way in, right? Less is more. But you could play around and add these medium tones in. And then I'm just going to smush a little into the middle on the bottom of the base here. Maybe smush a little here. Right? And then we need the loop for where the base attaches, right? So I'm going to put that in. I'm going to put that in and smush up a little bit into my stem. So, a lot of painting glass, I'm not going to lie, I was a little nervous going to do this video with you guys. A lot of painting glass is just playing. Like, you just play with your darks and your lights, and, if you're looking at your subject matter, you got to pay attention to where all that is. So, a lot of it is just really playing back and forth. So, I'm going to grab my blue paint again, just my blue, because I see some areas I want to fix up. So, I'm going back into my dark. And I'm going to fix this part right here. Wrap that around. I'm going to come up in here where the stem and the bottom meet. And I'm going to give that like a dark corner right there. Okay. And I'm going to come up in here where that triangle is. And I'm going to soften that out with the medium tone. So, if you notice, I am just playing around with those different colors I did, and I'm softening my tones, and I'm just doing zigzag zoom. That's all I'm doing. I'm doing just different blues, Megna. So I had a dark blue and a medium blue, and I'm just I started off with a really, really light blue to put my shape in, and then I put my dark blue pieces in, and now I'm going with like a little lighter blue and softening it all out and adding here and there. And I did jump back to my dark blue here and there because I went a little nutty. I went a little nutty. So, and that's okay, guys. That's my point. If you take anything away from what I'm saying tonight, is to have fun. I tell you all the time, have fun, because you're just playing around with the different tones of the color, and light glasses are see-through, but they're also reflective, so they're going to pick up the colors that are around them. I'm gonna do that as the next one. I'm going to show you how to paint one with an object behind it. I'm going to do like a vase, all right? So I'm going to show you in the next example. So I'm keeping this one really basic, okay? So I have my medium blue on here, and I'm going to come over here now, and I'm going to soften this out. I'm going to soften that out. I'm going to come to where I put my connecting to the, where my handle's connecting. I'm going to soften that out. And I'm going to go into where my handle is. I'm going to soften this piece out. Okay, and I'm going to soften up over here. So I'm kind of like getting rid of the strict lines of me drawing this in. If you notice, my initial drawing lines are kind of disappearing. So that's what I'm kind of doing at the same time. Like I said, there's no real solid lines. And I'm going to grab my dark blue paint again and put some more dark blue into the handle over here. So if you notice, I keep kind of skipping back and forth between my colors, but that's because as I'm painting, I'm seeing where I want to add something or take something away. So it's real, like, and when I paint back and forth. I'm always jumping between my darks and my lights. Some people paint all dark first. Some people paint all light first. I kind of bounce around. So if you get confused, let me know, because I might be bouncing around. So I'm just going to grab my medium tone now. It sounds so official, right? My medium tone. Now, it's just a lighter blue, guys. That's all I'm grabbing. That's all I'm grabbing. And if you notice, I'm doing a lot of dabs. I'm not doing lines at all. I'm dabbing, I'm zigzagging, I'm doing all sorts of stuff like that. Okay? So, I'm going to rinse out my brush. I'll let you guys catch up mustard if you're practicing along. Let me move the camera closer for you guys. Earthquake! Alright, so let me move the camera closer so you can see what I did. So you want it, you see, so no lines are like completely connected. Nothing's like connected. Right? I softened some of my shadows up, especially the ones behind the glass. I went in and I used, so the lightest part you see was the initial drawing. Then I went in with the darker blues into the corners, a little on that back rim. Notice, like, here's the top part of the rim. And here's the top part of the rim behind the glass, and I went under that. You see? I went under the back rim. Right? Here's my circles where my handle's connecting into the glass, softening everything out. Alright, so you guys practice with that. Ketchup, mustard. And I have Ona here, and Christy's here. Posh is in the house. Nancy, Michelle, Gina, Kelly, Megna, Cheryl's here. Oh yeah, and we have Joy. Joy is in the house. We have Joy. And Kelly, oh I said Kelly. So, I hope everyone's doing okay. If you're painting along with me, let me know. And hope you guys are ready. Hope you're ready for Friday. Bunny butt. We got bunny butt in the house. Friday's painting. And I started next Friday's painting. I'm going to give you a sneak peek. He's not finished yet, but I'm going to give you a sneak peek. But somebody did ask me to do one of these. Oh, there's a little peek. There's a preview. There's a preview. Anybody know what it is? Can you tell what it is? Hi, Kim. How you doing, sweetie? Kim's here. Kim is in the house. Yes! Magna got it! Ding, 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 ding! That's right. We're going to do a springtime gnome, guys. You guys asked me for a gnome. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my tiny again. And I'm going to grab just my white. Okay, so just my white. And I'm just going to have a little bit of white on the tip of my brush. Small amounts of paint. This is all small amounts of paint. And it's softening a lot of your things. So, and then with just my white paint, I'm going to do the really bright highlights. So, and usually they are either on the opposite side or on top of where your dark ones are. So, see how I have this one here? So, over here, I'm going to put, I am cooking 30 pounds of tomatoes for 5 hours making spaghetti sauce. Oh, that sounds delicious. Oh, I love fresh tomato sauce. Sounds awesome, Kim. So I am going to put my bright white highlight here. Okay, noticed again, I stopped before I hit that rim right there. This is in the back. And I'm going to put one like right here. Okay? Small amounts of paint on a very small brush. Okay, and I'm just going to soften that out with my finger a little bit. I'm just softening with my finger a little bit. That's all I'm doing. Okay, and then I'm going to come over here, and where these two darks are kind of meeting on the outside edge of my glass now, because that's where the light's really going to hit it. I'm going to put one right there. Okay, soften that out. I'm going to put one wrapping around the bottom bowl part. Okay, so we're going to put one right in there. And I'm going to soften that out. Okay, so small amounts of paint. Wipe your brush off because it might be getting globby by now. Okay, I'm going to come over to the other side of the bowl. And let's say one lives right here. Under, you know, like on that part of the glass. There's another one. Soften that out. Okay. And I'm going to come over here. And since the dark is all over here, I'm going to put one, bam, right on the stem on the outside part. So if you notice, a lot of these are going on the outermost edge of this glass. Okay. So I'm going to put one there. I'm going to soften that. I'm going to put one on the other side. Put one on the other side. And I'm going to do a little squiggle in, like it's hitting the round of that glass and wrapping around from the side, like onto the stem. Okay, soften that. Got a little bit of an extra piece right here. That's what spit's for. That's what we get rid of with spit. Okay, so let me fix that a little bit more because I messed that up a little bit. So let me fix that, put that back in better. Okay. That side seems to want to give me difficulty. I'll mess with it in a minute. I'm going to leave it to dry because it's giving me a little bit of difficulty. So, see, I'm not perfect. I mess up too. And we can go back and fix it once it dries. You got to fight that urge to keep trying to fix it. So I'm going to put one on the back rim over here on the outer edge. Right there. Soften that. I'm going to come around the front. Maybe one's hitting right there. Okay, and I'm going to come on the inside now. And I'm going to put one right in there. It's good to do these little wraparounds so people get the, you know, you get that nod to it being the back and the front. And like I said, sometimes a little bit of back and forth. So I'm going to grab that medium blue. And I'm going to go back in here because when I soften this, I kind of like smushed it a little too much. So I'm going to put the medium blue back in. And I'm going to grab a little bit of my darker blue. Put a little bit of that back in. And if you notice, I'm just zigzagging. I'm letting little blends happen. I'm letting all this fun little things happen. I'm letting the painting magic happen. You know, you want to let the painting magic happen. Okay, I'm going to go to that piece that I completely messed up over here. I'm going to fix that. So I'm going in with my medium blue. And I'm going to throw a little bit of dark in there. Wrapping it around. Okay. And with my background being blue, I can completely, this is how you fix mistakes, guys. You can color match your background. I'm going to color match my background. All right, I'm going to mix my blue and white together and find what my background color was. And I'm going to put my background back in. And I'm going to get rid of that whole big mistake that I made. See that? So if you guys mess up, you could always color match your background and paint right over it. Paint right over it. There's a little secret for you. There's a little trick, right? There's a little trick. I'm just softening that out so it blends right into the background. See? So if you guys completely screw something up, you just paint background back over it again. I've done that so many times. Okay, and I'm going to grab a little bit of, so now that I fixed that, I'm going to grab my white again. And I'm going to put that white back in the way I wanted it to be. Okay, don't forget that piece on the stem. That little piece on the bottom. So if you notice, I'm just dabbing. I'm following those round shapes. All of that good stuff. And we're going to go over here to where our handle is. And I'm going to put some white over in here. And I'm going to put some white up here. Like it's wrapping into the glass, like a light is hitting it and it's wrapping it into the glass. And I'm going to turn around and put some on my handle. On the outside edge. I'm going to soften that in a little bit. Okay. And then I'm going to put some over here on the bottom part here. So like that was like the side of the handle. I'll put some in there. Okay, so now you can go overboard, you know, like I might be going a little bit too far. I might be going a little bit too far, but that's okay. So I'm grabbing my dark blue again, and I'm going to come in, and I'm going to put some really dark pieces in now. So I'm going on the inside of the handle, putting those dark pieces in. And I'm going to go on this part of the handle, put some dark pieces in. Hey, Tracy, happy Tuesday. And I'm going to go where the handle's on the inside of the glass. I'm going to put those dark pieces in right there. Right? So I'm just going back in and I'm adding the dark back in that I softened out before. I want a little bit more drastic. I'm going to come under here. I'm going to put a dark piece right there. Okay, I'm going to soften it out a little bit. So now I'm just building on my layers. That's all I'm doing. I'm just building on my layers. I'm just building up on the layers I put before. I'm putting some of the dark back in. I might have softened too much. I'm getting my colors more bold. But I'm basically building on the layers that I put in before. So if you notice, I'm putting the darks back in where I had them before. And I'm just giving little pops of like where shadows would be. Obviously, if the light is I kind of made it to where the light was hitting this way. So I'm going to make this really dark on this side of the stem. Okay. Right, I'm going to zigzag zoom. I'm going to fill in a little bit. My nose is still, sorry guys, my nose is still sniffling from getting the makeup in my eyes. I'm like sniffing over here. Thanks, Magna. Hey, Tracy. Hey, and I'm going to grab some white paint and I'm going to come over here and do that piece of the rim right there. Okay. And then I'm going to grab my dark blue paint, and I'm going to put this piece of the rim on there. So, like I said, I am just to the point of where I'm just playing around and having fun and adding all these little things in all these little different spots. And now I'm going to grab just my white, because I played too much. I lost the white piece that was there. So I'm going to put that back in. All right. And then we're going to come over here and we're going to put our shadow. If you guys ever want anything to look realistic, like really, really, really realistic, give it a shadow. So if you're ever painting anything and you want it to look like, man, that's real, give it a shadow. That's what you want to do. So I'm going to grab my big boy. And I'm going to grab my blue paint. Nice and light, not much at all. And I'm going to come over here and I am going to pick up like the stem is reflecting. And then the top part of the glass is kind of getting lost. So if you ever want anything to look even more real, you give it a shadow, and all of a sudden, it looks like a real object. It's a good trick, right? Okay, guys. So there you go. There is a glass with the light parts, the dark parts. And like I said, you just want to have fun. You just want to play around with all your different values. And so number one, right? I forgot what number one was. You can easily put a liquid in this. You can easily put liquid in this. If you want to put a liquid in this, but then you have to remember, if you put a colored liquid in here, your glass is going to be picking up that colored liquid. So that color of liquid is going to reflect in your glass. So that's what you have to remember. You guys want me to put something in the glass? Let me know. I'll put a liquid in the glass. I was going to do a vase for you, but I could do it with the glass too. Do you want a liquid in there? Let me know. I'm seeing a thumbs up. Roll call, guys. Come on, you out there? Wake up. Wake up, wake up. Do you want liquid in it? Less is more. Thank you. That was number one. Thank you, Cheryl. I forgot what number one was. Oh, I'm glad you're paying attention, Cheryl. Less is more. That's right. Less is more. And you're not going to do solid lines. And it's all about playing with your darks and your lights. All right, Michelle. So we want to see liquid in the glass. Okay. All right, so I'm going to grab Tiny. And I'm going to grab some yellow and some white. Okay, I'm just going to mix them up. Grabbing some yellow and some white. Okay, and I'm going to go into my glass. And you're going to wrap around, right? Because there's a back part to this glass. So you want to wrap this around. Right? And then wrap around to the front. Just like that. And then you could easily fill in the glass part. Okay, so again, like Cheryl reminded me, less is more. If this is like a liquid that's pretty much see-through, you don't want to fill that much in there. Okay, less is more. So say this is a adult beverage. I'm just filling this in. And then for the top oval, I'm going to grab, I just dunked my finger right into my black paint. Right into it. A big kerplunk right into my black paint. Black globs of terror. Right, Magna? And this is why I don't put nail polish on. So, for the top part of the liquid, I am going to grab some more white. So, this way, the top is lighter than the body. So, I'm just grabbing some white paint, a little bit of yellow. And I'm going to actually put a highlight on the liquid. See that? Put a highlight on the liquid. And then I'm going to put a highlight on the back of the liquid here. And then just zigzag zoom on the top. Here, there, not everywhere. Okay? And then, so obviously if this is glass, it's going to pick up the colors of that liquid. So I'm going to go back to my original yellow and white that I did this piece for. Okay, so I'm going to grab some of that yellow and white that I did this piece for. And you're going to go in and it's going to reflect in your stem. So then you're going to put pieces of it in your stem. And I'm just putting pieces and I'm kind of zigzagging, zooming the pieces. Okay? That's all. I'm just zigzagging, zooming the pieces. So it's going to be in my stem here. And then I got to wipe off my brush because I got globs. And if we have globs on the brush, we're going to get globs on the painting. I got to listen to my own advice, guys. And it's going to pick up on your glass, right? So we got to put some little bit of, now I'm just zigzagging my brush, if you notice that. And here, there, not everywhere. Here, there, not everywhere. Okay, guys? Here, there, not everywhere. So I'm just going to do like a little zigzag across here, and I'm going to soften it out. Okay, and I'm going to do a little zigzag across here. Soften it out. Alright, and then maybe a piece of the coloring is grabbing in the handle. Maybe the handle's picking up some of the coloring, okay? So I'm going to come into my handle. And I'm going to put some right there. Here, there, not everywhere. Soften it out. Maybe right up in there. Soften it out. So, that is how you would put liquid in your glass. And then maybe the top part of the rim is picking up a piece of it. It might be picking up a piece of the color. You never know. So you could always turn around and put a little bit right on your rim there. And then soften that out. Maybe on the back part of the glass is picking it up. Soften that out. Okay? And, you know, look, I'm being really fancy. You see how I'm softening? I'm using my finger. Yes, Kim, I'm totally doing a vase. That's the next thing I'm doing. I was showing you this because this can pretty much show you how to do a wine glass. It could show you a champagne glass. It could show you a cappuccino mug. It could show, like, that's why I'm doing this one. And the next thing I'm going to do is a vase. So those are the two things I'm doing, unless you guys want to see something else. Alright, so obviously when we did our bunny, I simplified it a lot. But if you notice, I still had you guys do 3 tones. See the 3 different tones in there? So when we did the bunny on Friday, I kept it really simple, but you still did your 3 different tones of color. Alright, so this way, this is This is using the 3 tones, but you're softening. Like Cheryl said, less is more. You make many highlights in the water and contrast it from the vase. Yes, you can totally do that, Magna. That would totally work. That'll totally work. So now that we made Joy thirsty, and Kim and Anna and Christy and Pasha, Nancy, Michelle, Gina, Kelly, Magna, Cheryl, and Joy is thirsty now. Hey, y'all. Hey, Lisa. How you doing, sweetie? How you doing? So, I just want to let everybody know, of course, it is completely free to watch, and tips are appreciated. So, I am going to share that link. Where's my links? I can't find them. I'm going to find them, but I can't find them. They're here somewhere. There they are. I found them, guys. Michelle's still here. Hi, Michelle. I called you. I got you, girl. Tracy's here. We forgot Tracy. I forgot Tracy. Tracy, how could I forget you? All right, so I'll give you guys a bit ketchup mustard here to do your liquids in the glass. And, and it could be picking up on the bottom there, too, if you want to do a little schmooze on the bottom of your liquid color, because this is straight down, so you can do a little schmooze in there too. Okay, so nothing technical, just a schmooze, right? Maybe this is picking up the colors of the liquid inside. Okay, and then just soften it out. Soften it out. There you go. All right, so Vase. Vase is going to be on this side. Everybody good? Everybody ready for the vase? Are you still practicing? All right, let's do our vase. We're in blank canvas now. All right, I'll leave a little bit of this so you can see that while I put the background in for the vase. So I'm just going to grab Big Boy and let's do a different background. Since you guys saw the blue, I'll show you the same stuff but with a different background color, okay? So let's do like a reddish peach. Michelle's ready. Okay, cool, Michelle. Awesome. Awesome, sweetheart. So I'm going to grab red. I'm going to grab yellow. I'm going to grab some white. All right, I'm going to make a peach. And let's do a peach background. Let's do a peach background. So I'm just using my 1-inch flat, throwing some color on here. Throwing some colors on here. So we're going to do a peach. We're going to do peach. Here we go. Throwing some peach. Peachy, peachy, peachy. Peachy, peachy, peachy. Do. This is what happens when Eve doesn't have any music. I start singing. The toothpick, Magna, for your kit, for the tubes of paint you got in your kit, is if the tip gets clogged with dried paint, you use the toothpick to poke it out. I gave you guys everything in those kits. So if you the resealable tip gets clogged, the toothpick fits in there and you could poke the dried paint right out. All right, so we got our very pretty peach color. I love this color, by the way. This is like one of my favorites. I love making this color. I love being able to do all the separations of color. This is the color we used for our bunny. So, very excited. All right, so what am I going to do first, right, guys? I'm going to do my outline of my vase first. Okay, so I'm going to do the outline of my vase first. So I'm just going to grab some white. A little bit of white with that peachy color that I just made, right? Less is more, like Cheryl reminded us. Thank you, Cheryl. Okay. And I'm going to do my vase. So let's do a round vase. You want round or square? Let's do round. Okay, so shoop. I'm going to put in my piece there. And shoop. Put my piece in there, right? Rounding it out. Just using my lighter colored peach. Lighter colored peach, right? So you just want to do a lighter version of what your background is to put your guidelines in. So I'm going to swoop that around. And then I'm going to come up here. And I'm going to do the fluted top, right? So we're going to go this way, swoop. And we're going to go this way, swoop. And then we're going to turn around and put in our top part, right? Our oval. Right? So you want to put your oval in on your top part. Just like that. And then I'm going to wipe off my brush. And I'm going to grab my original peach color. I'm going to grab my original peach color of my background, and I'm going to just take that line out from my circle. Okay, guys? So I am just going to fix this up a little bit, just like that. Take that line out from my circle. Soften these edges out a little bit. So this is my 1-inch flat, and I just grabbed my peach color, and now that there's hardly any paint on my brush, I am just running it down, those lines I made, to really soften them out. Really soften it out, right? Less is more. Less is more. And then I'm going to make my brush strokes go in the shape of the vase. See that? So I'm making my brush strokes go in the shape of the vase. So I have hardly any paint on my brush, and I'm just kind of pushing the paint around that's on here already to give myself a very faint outline of what a vase, of what my vase is going to be. All right? Kind of like when we did our jellyfish. Kind of how we did our jellyfish, right, guys? So that's how we did our jellyfish. So this one I'm going to start with my lights first. I'm going to start with my lights first. The other one I started with my darks. This one I'm going to start with my lights. Okay, so I'm going to grab Mini Me. We're going to grab Mini Me, and I'm going to grab white paint. And I'm going to grab the smallest amount of that peach color, but mostly white. Mostly white. Alright, so I'm grabbing Mini Me, and I have the smallest amount of the peach color on there, and I want to grab mostly white. And I'm going to come up in here, and I'm going to put the back rim in. Okay, so there's the back rim highlight. And then I'm going to come in and do the front rim highlight. Okay. And then I'm going to do the corner. I'm going to do the corner. So the lighter parts I put on the edge of the item. I put those on the edge of the item. If you notice with the darker, I did everything on the inside parts of the edge. And the lighter, I'm putting on the edge. Living on the edge, baby. Living on the edge. And then I'm going to come over here to this side. And I'm going to give a highlight. So I'm putting that on the edge. And I'm going to zigzag zoom that into my vase a little bit. So I'm just going to do one of these actions with my brush. And I'm going to make sure that it's rounded. Right? Remember, I'm keeping with the round shape. So this shape's going to round this way. And then this shape goes up and that way. Okay? And I'm just going to soften all of that out. I'm just going to soften all of that out. So I'm not grabbing any more paint. I'm just pushing the paint around that is already on my brush. And I'm putting in my shape. So this shape is this way. And then this shape is up and out this way. And then I'm going to soften it even more. I am going to grab a dry flat brush. And I am just going to soften this even more just by smushing on it. Just by smushing on it, zigzagging over it a little bit. I'm going to soften that all out. Okay, and we're going to keep this handy because we're going to need it. And I'm going to grab that light peach color again with Mini Me. That's what I'm working with. And I'm going to come over on to this side. And I'm just going to put a little smidge on the outside edge here. Right? Soften it. And maybe there's some more right on this bottom part over here. So I'm going to do a smidge on this bottom part over here. And I'm going to bring that into the bowl. Okay, so I'm just pushing the paint around. Just pushing the paint around. And then I'm going to take my dry brush. And I'm going to soften it. Okay, so if you don't want to soften with your finger, you just soften with a dry brush. That's all. That's all you need to do. All right, so we're going to put... Kim wanted to see with the water like a vase, so we're going to put our water line in. And again, I'm not going to use straight white. I'm going to use a peachy tone. So I'm going to grab my white paint and I'm going to make sure there's some of the peach in it. Because glass, you like kind of build. That would be another thing to remember, right? So we have less is more. We have anything to make realistic, add a shadow. We have, you know, not making complete lines. All right. And it's like a building process. If you notice, I'm doing, right? Thank you, Lisa. I'm doing a layer and then I'm building on top of those layers that I'm creating. So that's what you want to remember. So everything is basically the same colors. You're just going a little lighter. Okay, and then we're going to put the drastic stuff on once we get this built up. So I have the white and the peachy color on here. So this is going to arch around, all right? So you want to start at the one edge, wherever you want your water line to be. And if you notice, I'm doing a very broken line here. I'm not doing a very severe line. I'm having it be broken and soft And I'm just putting the hint of a surface line of water there. And then under here, I'm going to smush these underneath, zigzag zoom in, down, right? And then I'm going to grab my white and my peachy color again. My white and my peachy color again. And I'm going to do the line across going this way now. Again, very soft. Very soft. Because you do it soft, and then you could look at it like, okay, is this line like the shape of the, you know, did I make my two arches match the shape of my vase? Or did I wind up like dipping this down too far? Like, so if you notice, I put my lines in, and it's the way the water would sit in this vase. But sometimes you might put your line in and arch it too much, right? So if you do it now, so if you do it nice and soft, and this one, I'm going to go and do the ziggy zag zoom up into this part. Okay, soften that all out. Soften that all out. So this way, if you wind up doing your arches and they're not matching the shape of what you're putting your water in, it'd be very easy to get rid of them or to fix them and then just blend out your mistake. Okay, guys? So that's like that. All right. So now I'm going to grab... So we're going to build on that, right? So we're going to build on that. So let's do our darker tones now, right? I'm doing opposite of what I did with that glass. So I'm going to grab my yellow, and I'm going to grab my red, right? Get a nice dark tone on my brush. Yeah, Butters isn't whining, hon. Maybe it's cocoa, right? And I'm going to go in those corners. So back on this corner, let's put that one in, right? And remember, these are on the... This is underneath the edge, right? Soften it out. So I'm softening with my finger. Like I said, you could soften with a brush, a dry brush, whatever you feel like doing. Whatever you feel like doing. And I'm actually going to put this in a lot on the top part of this vase, because I'm probably going to have flowers or stems or something going on in this vase. So that's going to create more shadows on the top part of this vase. All right, so, and this is just that dry brush that I had this whole time. Right, I'm going to grab that orangey color again. And I'm going to come over here with the dark, and I'm going to go into this corner over here. Again, these are on the inside. Remember, I did the highlights on the actual edge, but these, you move it in. You move it in a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to do those corners like I did on the other glass. And soften it. I'm getting really professional now, using a different brush to soften, right? It's getting scary. Eve's getting really technical here. She's using two brushes. Oh goodness. Oh goodness. I'm going to do a little one in this corner over here. Okay, so do a little bit in that corner. And I'm going to soften it. Right, just like that. Grab some more of those darker orangey colors. I'm going to come over here on this side. Right? Again, on the inside part of the edge. Not on the edge, on the inside part of the edge. Right? Soften. Soften, 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 soften. Do, 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 do. Okay? And I'm going to put a little bit up in here. Oops. See, that's why you gotta look at your brush. Make sure you don't have big gold globs on it. I'm gonna put a little bit up on here, in here, like it's on the back part of that bowl. Like it's in the back part of the bowl. So I'm gonna wrap this around like the bowl shape. Okay, I'm gonna wrap this around like the bowl shape. And then I'm gonna smush that up in there. And I'm going to smush this down in here. Just like that. Right? Maybe add a little bit right here. Because that back water line is going to be on the back part of the bowl, right? So why don't we add a little bit right in here. Right above that water line. Right? So that's like the showing you the space that's on the back part. Okay? Now, I'm just going to build on my layers. That's all I'm going to do. So once you have this basically in, now we're going to just start playing, building on our layers, putting in darker darks, lighter lights like we did on the glass. So that's your basic. Hi everybody. That's your basic shape, and then you're gonna turn around. Since I went through torture to put makeup ups on, I'm gonna have you guys look at my beautiful face. But my eyes aren't stinging anymore. Once you have that in, then you just build on top of it. Okay, so a little bit at a time, and you're just building upon your layers. That's all you're gonna do now. So once you have your basics in, you know, where your lights are going to be, where your darks are going to be, where everything's kind of hitting off, where your surface line is going to be, you know. So now you're just building on top of that. That's all you're doing. So I am going to grab a tiny in the house. Tiny's in the house. And I'm going to go into my white. And my white's very dirty. So I'm still not doing like straight white. Okay, it's close to it. It's really, really close to it, but it's not like straight in your face white. In your face. Okay, and where I put my lights before, so I'm just going into, just like that. You gotta do the clicking noise. I'm going to turn around and put in my brighter highlights in. Okay, so I'm just gonna put these in. Right? Grab my white paint, wipe off my brush because of the globs. I'm going to come back in here, and over here we had a nice big thing going on, so let's grab that edge. Right? Let's grab that edge. Put in our nice bold edge right there. Right? And we're going to come over here. Let's grab this edge. Put in our nice bold cut light in that edge right there. Oh, you're welcome, Wendy. Absolutely. 6,000%. I'm going to show you what I know. So, I'm going to show you whatever tricks I know, whatever little secrets I know, whatever I figured out. Painting for as long as I have, and I want you guys to be able to take all these tricks and these little secrets and be able to put them in your paintings and have fun with them. And have fun with them. 6,000%. So I just cleaned off my brush because it was getting really globby. And I have the other highlight down here. So I'm going to swoop. I know no solid lines, but now I really want this to be nice and sharp right here. So I'm going to move my hand, not the brush. And I have straight white, you know, really straight white. And I'm going to swoop this around that whole side. Okay, so I know it's not a solid line. It's not going around the whole bottom of the bowl, like the whole entire thing. But I wanted that very sharp. I wanted that line to be very sharp. And then, like I said, you can just soften it a little bit with your finger. And then we have to do the darker darks, right? So I'm going to grab those oranges from before. I'm going to grab the oranges from before, right? And I'm going to go and add a little bit more red to them. Really make my darks pop. So I had my dark there. I had my dark in here. Right? Grabbing my red. I had my darks over here. Right? I had some darks over here. I'm going to put that dark right underneath that edge. I'm going to put that dark over this piece because I had that being dark. I hope someday I'll know when and how to add highlights and shadows. Watching you, it makes so much sense and looks good, but it doesn't come to me on my own. I feel lost if not following someone. Well, that's why I'm doing this, and someday you are going to have it on your own. You have to, one way, guys, that you're going to be able to do this on the fly, because I'm not using a reference photo. I'm not looking at anything, but I used to. I used to have to. So one way that really helped me is, you know, Google Images, and you look up a painting of a glass or you know, but glass is really tricky. I'm not gonna lie, it's tricky. And like I said, I was a little nervous doing this because I wasn't sure if I'd be able to explain it. And but what you want to do is like what I did with the 3D objects and stuff. So the most helpful thing is to look up acrylic painting of, let's say, a ball, right? Start with a ball. And you look at the picture and you're going to see on the picture where the lighter colors are and where the darker colors are. And you practice painting it that way. And then once you do that, once you practice looking at something, then turn around and practice off of your picture. And once you do that a few times, you're going to turn around and someone's going to say paint a ball, and you're going to be able to see it in your mind because you've already put the information through your hand, up your arm, and into your brain. That's how it works. So that's why we're doing practice, and you guys can practice along with me and do what I'm doing. And honestly, use those reference pictures. If you can't picture it in your head and you can't pick where the highlights are supposed to go, the shadows are supposed to go, that's totally fine. Look at a picture. Look at, and not, you know, don't start looking at, like I showed you, like the cappuccino glass, right? That's an actual cappuccino glass picture. Don't start there. Start where you're looking at somebody else's painting of the object. All right? And whatever style you like. There's so many styles out there. And you just want to make sure, like, you look up what you're painting with. So, say acrylic painting of a ball. Okay? You can look that up. So, start there. And once you do that, then you could try looking at a picture of the actual object, like looking at a picture of a real ball. And it just builds on top of that, honestly. Yes, Magna. So you missed the beginning. I put eye makeup on to make myself all pretty. And I got it in both eyes, and my eyes were tearing. And it was a big old mess. Okay, guys, so that's how you start off, Kim. That's how you start off, Joy. Like, honestly, you're not going to be able to do this with your mind's eye until you know how to do it first. So, everybody has to start somewhere. And that's how I started. That's how I started. And to this day, that's how, if I need to paint something and I've never painted it before, I look to see how others painted it. And then I look at a real picture of it. So, 6,000%. Okay, so, small brush, white paint. I'm going to go into my water now, right? Here, there, not everywhere. Let's cut in the water line. Brighter, right? Here, there, not everywhere. So, I'm going to bring that brighter right there. And I'm going to bring this edge brighter right here. And I had a glob on my brush because I don't listen to my own advice. Perfect, Magna. That's why we call it practice, sweetie. That's why we call it practice, because you can completely mess up and it is okay. Right? So now I'm grabbing white paint and I'm coming in and I'm putting my waterline in sharper. Putting my waterline in sharper. So I'm getting the nice bright color onto it. Swoop. Swoop. Right? Gotta make those swoop noises. Notice I'm moving my hand, not the brush, to get those lines nice and crisp. Okay, and then you could always soften the inside of it. So, you can also add in these highlights, like, you know, this is a rounded bowl coming towards you. So, you could turn around and pop in like a boop, 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 boop. Right? Like one of those, like right there, like bam. Soften it out. Okay, like light was hitting that bowl right from that side, and you just have to make sure you follow the shape of your bowl. Okay, so you can do one of those. You can get like really drastic. You can turn around and say maybe something's hitting like right up here. Right? You can do one of these, zigzag-a-zoom. Okay? So it's hitting like right there. Maybe it's hitting down here too, right? Maybe we're just going to highlight this whole side, right? But you just got to follow your shape. Okay, if you notice, I followed the same rounded shape of the vase. And then I just made it smaller and smaller, but I'm still doing those arching lines. Still doing those arching lines. You've got to follow the shape of what you're putting these on. You notice this was straight, this was rounded this way, and then this was rounded this way. So Joy is saying, my dad used to draw with pencil and shadow, all his work with pencil. He did an open Bible, so beautiful, just, you lost the paintings from moving. My dad used to, and, okay, and Kim says, I'm starting at the very beginning, never having drawn or painted anything artsy. No one in the family. Been painting about 10 months here and there. Have gotten neater. But that's about it. That's okay. You've only been painting for 10 months, girlfriend. All right, so I'm going to have you guys catch up mustard with that. You know, put in your brighter lines if you want to get really brave and pop some of these like big bold highlights in there. And then I'm going to put some flower stems in, and you can see how I do that. Okay, so, roll call. Lisa's here, Kim is here, Ona, Christy, Pasha, Tasha, Nancy, Michelle, Gina is in the house. Kelly is doing good. Michelle's painting along with me. Go, you go, girl. Megna is in here. She's practicing her vases, even if they're coming out, whatever. It's all good. That's why we call it practice. We got Cheryl is here. She's the one that asked for glass. So everybody, thank Cheryl. And Cheryl, thank you for making me think. Joy is here, and Tracy made it. Tracy made it on a Tuesday. Good job. Good job, everybody. Good job. Nice. I like it. I like it a lot. I like it. I like it a lot. Grabbing my seltzer because I'm getting thirsty. So, anybody have any questions so far? Anything you want to see or want to ask me? I'm going to put the flower stems in. I'm going to show you how you would put that into your vase and do your water. Bye, Cheryl. Bye, sweetheart. Okay, no worries. You have a great night. I'm glad you're enjoying this. Good night, sweetie. Good job, guys. Good job. I like it. I like it a lot. Yes, Magna's good. Tracy, that's right. Happy Tuesday, Tracy. That was the best. I'll never forget when you did that. That was awesome. I loved it. 6,000%. It was amazing. Magna, practicing the eyes. So we're going to do, you guys wanted to do a how-to of eyes. So I'm going to do eyes for you guys and lips. So we're going to, one of the how-tos is definitely going to be facial features. And definitely, I think the next one we're going to do is animals. So in the event when I post the animals, I'm going to tell you, you know, I'm going to put what animals would you like to see. So I can show you, I'm going to tell you the basics about animals, and then I'll show you like one or two actual animals. Alright, so I hope you all had a chance to catch up, and I'm going to put in my flower stems. So I'm going to grab Big Boy. Grabbing Big Boy, swirl, tap, dabbing them, making them nice and clean. Nice and clean. If you guys want to see any other weapons tonight, let me know too. If you want to see me do something with something else, some other sorts of brushes, let me know. So we're swirl, tap, dabbing Big Boy, and I'm going to make some green paint. So I'm going to grab my blue that was taken over my canvas, and I'm going to grab my yellow. This is why we grab from the sides, guys, right? So you have a nice thing. And I'm going to make a pretty green right here, and I'm going to add a little bit of white to it, just so it sticks. Just so it sticks. Okay, nice green color we got going on. And I'm going to pull Big Boy across my palette. Make them nice thin edge. Right? And then I'm going to pull these stems into my vase. So you're going to skip over this line. If you mess up, that's okay. We could cover it, right? I'm going to hold my brush back here, nice loosey-goosey, straight onto my canvas. And I'm just going to pull. And then I'm going to skip over that edge. Come into here. And drop my stem in. Right? And if you notice, I skipped a big portion of water right here. Right? You see that? Look how much I skipped. I didn't draw it straight through my water. I skipped a whole big spot because it's hitting my water at a certain spot in that vase. Okay, guys? So, same thing. I'm going to pull Big Boy across my palette. I'm going to get that nice thin edge of paint. I'm going to come up here and I'm going to pull and I'm going to stop at my edge and I'm going to continue into my vase. I'm going to go to the spot on my water. I'm going to stop and then I'm going to come down underneath my water line like that. Right? And everything always looks better and odd. So what the heck? Let's add another stem. So I'm going to nice thin edge. I'm going to pull. Go over my back. Skip over that front here. This guy's going to cut across his buddies. I'm going to pull him into my water. I'm going to stop at a certain spot. And then I'm going to come down the other edge of my water right there. Okay, so once I have my line in with Big Boy, I can turn around and I'm going to take Mini-Me. I'll take Tiny. I'm going to take Tiny, right, our small round brush, and I'm going to grab that same green paint. And I'm going to add a little bit more blue to it. I'm going to spin my brush so it's nice and straight on my brush. So Magna, how'd you like painting in person, huh? That was fun, right? That was so awesome. So I got to meet some of my painting fam because we painted in person. So I'm going to make it a little darker. Making it a little darker, and I'm going to come in here. And I'm just going to make my stems a little darker inside the vase. Making them a little darker inside the vase. Okay? So we're just going to make them a little darker. So I'm just grabbing some blue paint with that green. Grabbing some blue paint with that green, and I'm following my stem lines. Following my stem lines. Can't seem to get blue paint onto this stem. Let's try this again. There it is. I got it now. No worries, we got it. I'm making my stems a little darker in my vase. And then underneath the water here. And these don't have to be like perfect because the water... thank you, Magna. Yeah, it was amazing for me too. It was awesome. I had a blast. It was great meeting you and your dad. Okay, so these don't have to be like perfect because the glass and the water is, you know, it's going to make it like fuzzy. You know what I mean? So there we go. I'm going to put those in there. And then I'm going to grab my green paint from before. And I'm just going to fix where these connect. You know, I want to make sure that's nice where that connects right there. Right? I'm going to make this nice where that connects. Makes this one nice where this connects. Okay? Oh, yes, Joy. And you know what's really funny is I felt like I wasn't giving you guys the attention you needed. So, I'm glad it was okay on your end watching the video. So, I'm swirl, tap, dabbing Tiny. And I'm going to grab my lighter peachy color, my white lighter peachy color. And I'm going to come in and I'm going to fix my edge here. Okay, so because I kind of went over it when I did my stem, so we're just going to fix the edge. And I hit some of that green by accident, but that's okay because that's going to be reflecting in the glass anyway. Okay, and then I'm going to take some lighter green color. So I'm going to take that green that I made and add a little bit of white to it. And this glass is going to be picking up the greens. Hey, Jerry, how you doing, sweetie? This glass is going to be picking up the greens from the stems. So, right? What did we do before? We did some zigzag zooms, right? We did some zigzag zooms. and just put some nods to the color being in the glass, right? So say this side of the back side of the glass is picking up this stem. So we could turn around and put a nod, right? Blending it out, softening it out. Put a nod of the glass picking up that stem. Okay, and I'm going to wipe off my brush and I'm going to grab some more paint and say this is picking up this stem. So I'm going to do a nod back here, and I'm going to put some here and then here. Put that in, and I'm just smushing and doing a little wiggle, and I'm just making it as the glass is picking up those stems. Okay, and then the other stem is going to get reflected on the other part. Right, it's going to get reflected over here, so I'm going to, you know, smush, 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 and smush, 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 right? Here, there, not everywhere, right? And I'm following the shape of the stems making. Okay, so, and that's getting hidden. So that would be all she wrote for that one. Okay, so you can put that the glass has like a direct reflection. You could turn around and just put nods to the color. You know, there's all different ways to be able to do this. And then they would be reflected in the water. Oh, that's okay. Jerry, you missed the other glass. There was the other glass we did. Joy wanted a little beverage in there. So, and then in the water, it's actually going to reflect on the surface. So it's going to reflect on the surface. So I want to turn around and I want to go from that reflection to the stem. To the stem. Okay, soften it out. And I'm going to go from this reflection to the stem that it was reflecting. Okay, so going over here, and I'm going all the way over here, and I'm going all the way over here, because it was reflecting that stem. Okay, and notice I'm softening, and then I'm going to go from this one was to that stem. And I'm smushing, I'm softening and smushing. Hi, Tammy! Oh, what you said? You missed it, Jerry? That's okay. Okay, so when something hits the water, it makes makes little ripples in the water. So you can put the little ripples in the water. Right, so you could put, so where the stem is hitting the water, you could turn around and do the little swoops, like that. Where it is hitting the water, right? Because it's going to make those little bends and little ripples and little fun things happen. Okay, so where they're hitting the water, you can make little things happen like that if you'd like to. Right? Here, there, not everywhere. Here, there, not everywhere. Okay. And over on this one. So I'm just doing these little bend arounds, making it like a little something something's going on. Don't know really what, but a little something something is going on. And you got to make sure these are straight across. If you notice, that one was kind of out of an angle and it didn't look right. So I'm just going to smush it around. I'm going to smush it around and make it look a little more straight. Okay, and then I'm going to turn around and grab my white paint. And I'm going to come in and I'm going to refix my water edge here. Right, refix that water edge so you can see it better. Soften up those reflections that I did. Soften up those reflections. That's another Tammy. That's a different Tammy, I think. Or maybe, no, that might be Tammy. No, that's not Tammy. That's a different Tammy, Magna. Okay? So, and I'm going to come up in here, and I'm going to put my, boop, my highlighted line. So you can do like straight up, you can do straight like reflections like bam, that is definitely reflecting, or you can do nods of the colors being in the glass. And if you remember, this schmooze was on the front part. So I'm going to put that back in. I'm going to put that back in because that was on the front part of my glass, that highlight right there. And that one was in the back. Okay, so I'm going to put that back in. And then I'm going to do just a hint of still seeing the green stem through it. Okay, guys? So, and now we're just to the point of playing around. We're to the point of playing around. We're to the point of adding the lights and the darks and schmoozing and fixing things here and there. So that is how you would do like a drastic reflection of the actual stems going through. Or you could just do a nod to the different colors like we did with this one. You could do a nod to the colors. So the water, making a clear thing is, honestly, you just do the surface line. That's it. That's how you would do the water. So, and then now I'd go back in here with my darks and my lights, and I would just play around. That's the point I'm at. I'm at the point of like schmoozing and playing around and grabbing some darker stuff. Maybe I went a little too fun, went a little too happy in a spot. So I'm going to like correct that, make it the way I want it to look. Okay, so I went a little happy over here with the lighter paint. So I'm going to put the darker back in. Right? And, you know, and then like maybe make this line a little bit better right there. So now I'm just to the point of filling in and adding some more dark and more light wherever I think it should be, which you guys will figure out over time for yourselves. So it's, you know, like I said, practice looking at a painting of somebody doing an object, and then practice just looking at the object, like a picture of the object, and then practice doing it out of your mind's eye. And you will get there. You will get there. I 6,000% know you will. So it's just a matter of having fun with it and doing your thing, and you're going to have some stuff come out not so great. You're going to have some stuff you're going to surprise yourself, and it's going to come out absolutely amazing. You know, so all of those things come into play as you're doing this. So those are all the things that, you know, and I'm just going to add, maybe there's some like dark coming through the water here. You know, so I'm just playing around. Here, there, not everywhere. Adding my darks and my lights. Yep, so we could totally add a shadow to the vase like I did the glass, right? Right? See, Kim, you already know, right? So if you want something to look really, really, really realistic, add a shadow. Add a shadow to it, right? So if I'm going to do a shadow from the vase, so let me just grab some red. I'll just grab some red. And I'm going to come off of the vase, and I'm just going to swoop, and we're going to swoop this way, swoop. And we're just going to add a shadow to the vase. Right? You want anything to look realistic, give it a shadow. Give it a shadow. And if you notice, I'm just going really careful to keep my edge in there. Keep my edge in there. So there is a shadow. Good looks, Kim. Good looks. See? See? Good looks. That's all right. You just kind of put it wherever you want to put it. I didn't really do any rhyme or reason. I didn't work like I put it over here because I had these really bright spots right here. So, you know, you just want to remember, like when you're putting in like a highlight or something, the shadow is going to be on the other side of it. So if your highlight's here, your shadow's going to go that way. If your highlight's here, your shadow's going to go that way. Watch the 3D shapes video. That'll help you tons with how to do shadows and highlights and whatnot. So we did like a whole bunch of cubes and stuff and all those good things. So like I said, now I'm just playing. I'm honestly, I'm just playing around and I'm just adding my darkers and my lights in here and whatever I feel like doing, softening here. So there you guys go. So that is pretty much all I have to show you. I want to thank you guys all for watching. If you have any more questions for me, ask them now. All right, and it's completely free to watch. Tips are appreciated. I will share the link again. And I want to thank you so much to everybody who painted with me. Let me get my little sign. I'm going to get my little sign. So, I just want to thank everybody for painting with me. And I want you guys to make sure to have fun and go create. And you all warm my heart, all right? Mwah. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I hope you all have a wonderful evening. And I will see you on Friday for Bunny Butt. Because that's going to be so much fun. And make sure you take everything that you noticed tonight and practice. And all these little tips. Good night, Lisa. Yeah, we're done, Magna. We're done. We're all set. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching me tonight and hanging out with me as a fan. I really appreciate it. Bye, sweetie. You're so welcome, Joy. You're so welcome. So, have fun and go create. And you all really warm my heart. Thank you so much for being with me tonight. Bye, Tracy. See you Friday. See you Friday. Good night, Joy. Thank you. Oh, that's all right, Joy. That's okay. Maybe someday. Maybe someday I'll take a road trip. Maybe I'll get so famous that I'll do East Creations Paint Party on the road and come visit all you guys. Get a little trailer and take my paint parties on the road, stopping at different destinations. That would be pretty fun, right? Travel the world and paint and meet everybody. That would be really neato. Neato. Come to Virginia? Oh, I love Virginia. Virginia's beautiful. Virginia's absolutely stunning. I wanted to move to Virginia, but then it got too expensive. Come out to Indiana, Marcia. Hi, Marcia. Where were you hiding, sweetheart? You were hiding through this whole thing. Hi, Marcia. I'll bring Butters with me, Joy. The two of us on the road. That would be hysterical. Indiana. I've never been to Indiana. I've been to Illinois, but I've never been to Indiana. I've been to Colorado. I've been to Colorado, Tennessee, Florida, and the Canadian side of Niagara Falls. That's how far I've gotten. Marsha's a stalker. A little creeper tonight. She's our little creeper. Oh, that's great. That's awesome, Marsha. You're the best creeper tonight. We'll take it. 6,000%. We'll take it. So, this Friday is the bunny, and I'm going to finish this painting, so this is going to be next Friday. I probably would love Ontario and Calgary, because I'm really big into nature. So there's the whole, I didn't finish them yet, but that's going to be our next painting. I'm really into nature, and I totally, like, I'm sure it's gorgeous. I'm sure it's absolutely stunning. Right, Tracy? The bunny is so adorable, and the gnome's gonna be cute too. I'm gonna put it raining on top of his umbrella, and then under the umbrella is gonna be like raining flowers. You'll see. It's gonna come out cute. And one of these nights I'm gonna do a straight up. One of these nights I'm gonna do a straight up landscape. I'm gonna do like a Bob Ross landscape. We're gonna do the sky and the mountains and the water and the trees. One of these nights. And then I have other people, I have a list here of what people want to do. So I have, well, somebody said wildlife, mountains and cabins. Joy got her angels already. Somebody wants to do a puppy. I have a Yoda, I have lion, peacocks, I have a fence with flowers. So, if there's anything you guys want to see, either How To Tuesday or for Friday's parties, let me know. Let me know if there's something you want to paint, or if you want to send me some images, message it to me. And if anybody likes any of the paintings they've seen, they're all for sale. And they're all under $50. So, and I could, what's that word called? Oh no, Joy, I hope everything's okay. Send in your prayers, love. I hope you're all right, sweetie. Customize, that's the word I was looking for. I could customize them. It's like the last place I want to be, Joy, is the hospital. So I hope everything's all right. And I hope to see you on Friday, too. All right, so we have another minute or two. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. take yours out of your handy dandy holder. And I'm going to wish you all good night. And I'm going to show you the Butters because he is out. Don't you just want to get cozy with them? He's like, Ma, what are you doing? So, this is E, the E's Creations Paint Party. Thank you so much for watching me tonight. I'm going to wish you all good night and have fun. Go create. Mwah. Y'all warm my heart. All right. Good night, everybody. Thank you.